What I mean by that is there will be people that try to tell you who you are individually every single time. If it's mom, dad, grandmother, grandfather, brother, sister, uncle, teacher, believe me, they will try to define you. But you have to be willing to understand that the only person that can define who you are is you. That's it. It's you. And so continue to have that skill that allows you to drive your purpose. And I promise you, you guys have impacted and touched so many lives that you wouldn't even imagine. I say this because I've touched people's life that I had no clue who they are. And then I get a tweet or I get a text or I get an Instagram post that says, Donna, you saved my life. And the first thing I do is I ask the question, how did I do that, you know? And it's what I said of what they've seen and how I carry myself, right? You can change someone's life just by your actions. And so you guys are doing a phenomenal job on what, changing those kids' lives because they're gonna remember that for the rest of their life. You'll always have a connection, even though when you're gone and you have your own families, you'll still be able to, somebody will always tell you, you impacted my life story, right? And who would have ever thought my life story would make a New York Times bestseller? I knew the story resonated with somebody else that's living like me and worse than me, but I knew if I told that story, it was gonna be okay, right? And I told that story and it made New York Times bestseller, right? And then from there, I decided, like, what's next, right? And for me, it's like what I do with my foundation. My foundation's been established for 21 years. And we do everything from homeless families to transition from homeless families to apartment and houses where we pay subsidized rent. We do scholarship programs. We do Blessing in the Backpack. We feed kids that's on federal government lunch. We make sure that they have meals with not just themselves, but for their entire family. Good mistakes, bad mistakes, but at the end of the day, you have to own up to it. And so, people always say, would I go back and change? Oh man, if I knew this 20 years ago, I'd change it. No. Because if you knew that 20 years ago, you wouldn't have did it in the first place, right? And so with that, no, I wouldn't have changed. I wouldn't change anything because I think that's what made me the guy, the man, the husband, the father, the businessman. I mean, I've told people I've made a lot of mistakes, but I'm okay with failure because I learned from it. People have to understand failure builds character. It allows you to grow in life, and for that, I tell my wife all the time, I think you love me, right? Knowing that I think she loves the crap out of me, but I do that with my kids. I hope my kids adore me and they can see the man that their dad's become, to allow them to continue to grow. When they're in the room and they're talking about business, that's what I want to do. And sometimes that's the biggest thing. You don't have to speak. You just need to sit in the room and understand, how did that happen? Good or bad, right? Positive, negatives. But building a relationship is going to last you longer than any job you can ever imagine. How we know we've tried it, man. I got out of 14 years, I got 1 Super Bowl ring. 1. And some guys don't have none. But I can tell you this, we should have had 6. Unfortunately, we just didn't get there. And there's always something that you're missing, right? Going, man, we're going to the Super Bowl. This is awesome. And no, I feel it wasn't